Welcome to our Creativity Club. I'm Meredith, and I'm the brand ambassador for Faber-Castell USA Creativity for Kids. Just a few notes before we get started. This class will be recorded, so if you miss something, don't worry about it. You can always go back and catch it later. Another thing, I can't hear or see you, but there are plenty of other ways you can interact with me during the class. In the chat box, you can send a message or ask me any questions you have. At the bottom of your screen, there's a little smiley face that you can send an emoji. During the webinar, I'm going to ask you for your input. Yay! So a vote here box will pop up in the middle of your screen, and make sure you answer it in enough time before it disappears. Finally, there's links for you to follow us on our social media accounts. We love to see what you create, so ask a parent or an adult to post your creation online and tag Creativity for Kids. All right, today I'm so excited. We are going to be doing our hide and seek rock painting kit. So let's go ahead and get started. And let's see what's inside. Da, 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 da. Okay. Now I'm going to leave my box right up here by me so I can look at it for any kind of inspiration that I might need. What do we have here? We have our paints. Ooh, wonderful colored paints. We have our paint brushes. This one has a broad tip, which is perfect for large areas. And this one, boop, has a fine tip, which is perfect for details. And then we have, I'll just open this with our scissors, our sponge. And our sponge we will need for doing our transfers. So we'll set that aside. We have our handy dandy instructions in here. And ta-da! We have our transfers. So you can see here, these are all transfers that we will be using during our class today. And then these are our little tracking stickers. So I'll show you when we're going to put those on too. These are our foil transfers. You can see how rainbowy they just shine in the light. And of course we have all of our lovely rocks. So these rocks are natural, so they're all different sizes and shapes. And we do recommend to just wipe them off, or you can like rinse them off with some water before you get started. Now speaking of getting started, let's go ahead and look at our instructions. Cover your work surface with newspaper and have a cup of water and paper towels handy. Okay, let's do that. We'll move all this stuff out of the way for now. All right, I've got some paper towels here that I'm going to put down to protect my workspace. And I have my water right here on hand. Okay, and I have another paper towel for drying off my paintbrushes after I rinsed them out after using them in the paint. Okay. Also, wear a smock or old clothes. This paint may stain fabrics, furniture, and other surfaces. Clean up any spills immediately while the paint is still wet. And paint can settle and separate over time, so we want to mix each color thoroughly before we begin painting. And as I mentioned before, if you're changing colors of paint, you're going to want to rinse and dry your paintbrush. Okay, so let's go. All right. Now, it also mentions in the instructions that some of the rocks might be darker or lighter. So painting your rock with a layer of white paint first is recommended so the other colors of your paint show up the most vibrant that they can. So here we are, we've got our white paint. I'm going to use the broad brush and just mix it around again because, as I said, sometimes the paint does settle. So we're just going to go ahead and paint our rocks with a layer of white paint first. And this paint is really nice. It's like an acrylic paint, but there's something in it that allows you to put your rocks outside and the paint won't come off in the rain. So it's nice paint for hide and seek rocks. And oftentimes when I've done this kit or other kits like it, I do hide my rocks out in the park or like when I'm going for a walk, because I think it's super duper fun when other people find my rocks and then they post what they found up on our social media page. So most of the time the rocks that I'm hiding are outside. But you don't have to just hide them outside. You can like give them to your friends or your family members. You can use them as paperweights or decorations in your room or on your desk. And this kit in particular is perfect for the holidays. So gifting someone a holiday themed rock might be what you choose to do. So another thing about this paint is that it dries pretty quickly. So by the time I'm done painting this white coat on these 5 rocks, the first rock that I painted should be mostly dry. Now while I am finishing this up, I would love to know, and this is your opportunity to vote, I would love to know which design we should paint together first. So we could do a penguin, a snowman, or Santa. So you should see a little box pop up on your screen, and you can actually go ahead and vote if you would like to do a penguin, a snowman, or Santa with me first. And we're going to make it super duper simple so everybody can follow along. And we're going to just use basic shapes. All right, so we've done our base coat of white. All right, let's see. We've got 5 more seconds for you to vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And it looks like we will be doing a snowman first. Okay, cool. All right, so what we want to do is look at our rocks and see which rock do we want to make a snowman on. And I think it's easiest to do a snowman on a longer rock, only because you'll have enough space to make 3 circles. And if you want to add a little top hat or any little details like that, you'll have enough space. So we'll put these aside and we'll work on this one. Okay. So for our snowman, for the snowman that I created before, you can see I did a blue background. And if you would like to do a blue background, I'm going to show you how to mix the paint to create that light blue color that you see in this rock. All right, so just using this bit of paper towel as our mixing palette. And you can use like a paper plate or a regular plate or whatever you find around your house to mix paint on. I just mixed up the blue there. So we're going to start by adding a blob of white. So we always start with our lighter color first. So we add a blob of white and then just a little bit of blue like this, and we mix it up. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Oop. Here we go. So I'm just going to mix it up, and you can see it's turning light blue. So this is the dark blue that you're given, and this is the light blue that we're creating. Now I think I want my blue to be just a little bit darker, so I'm going to grab just a smidge more dark blue and add it in to create just a little bit darker blue. Alright, so we'll put our background blue color on our rock. And the more coats of paint that you paint on your rocks, the more solid it will look. So the more opaque it will look. So here's our blue. Actually, I think I want it just a little bit more blue again. There we go. Perfect. And we'll rinse out our brush, and we can dry it. Okay, now for a snowman, we need to create 3 circles. So once this paint dries, and it'll take maybe a minute or so for it to dry, you can either use a pencil or you can just use your paintbrush and paint 3 circles onto your rock. So I'm going to blow on our rock to help it dry a little bit. You can also use a hair dryer if you want, but I'm just going to blow on it. And it should be getting drier and drier with each breath. Okay, let's give that a go. So if it's fully dry, definitely feel comfortable using a pencil if you want to draw your snowman first, but I'm going to use our paintbrush and just draw it. So sometimes the paintbrush comes a little bit stiff, so you might have to work it a little bit in your water or in your paint. So here's our first circle. And for those of you who have made snowmen in the past, usually you want your first circle or your first snowball, the one that's on the ground, to be your biggest snowball. And that is so it can support the weight of your other snowballs. And here's our first snowball. Our second snowball, another circle, you just paint right on top. It's a little bit slower, or a little bit smaller than our first snowball. And our third and final snowball will be our snowman's face. And we want to make sure that we make our snowball big enough that we can put a snowman face on our snowman head. There we go. Now right now it kind of just looks like our snowman is floating in a blue space. So we need to add a little bit of a ground. So here's our ground. You can just add a ground line with the white to make it look like it has been snowing all day, and we're creating a fun little snowman on this very fun snowy day. And who knows, maybe it's a snow day from school and you don't have to go to school and you can just go outside and play. Alright, so we have our snowman body. What other details do we need? Let's look over here. Oh, we need a face. We need a carrot nose and some arms. So we've made arms out of sticks here, what looks to be branches. So let's do those first. And this snowman, I used black, but we're not given black in this color palette. So I'm going to use, I think I'll use purple instead. But you can use whatever color you want. We'll mix it up a little bit. Let's see if I can get that in the camera. And we want to make just a very thin line. So go ahead and do one thin little line coming up from our snowman body. And then we're going to do little lines coming from that line, like little baby branches that come off of a big branch. All right, now we'll do the other side. Hello. Now, when you're doing this, you can think to yourself, oh, I would love it if my snowman were holding something. So if you want your snowman to hold something, you might position the snowman line or the arm line in a different way. I think my snowman has his arms raised like that, like, hey, hello everybody, look at me, I exist. So that's what my snowman is saying. Oh, and actually with our purple, since it is nice and dark, I think I'll go ahead and add my snowman eyes. So just 2 little dots, 1 and 2, create some fun little snowman eyes. And since we're at it, let's make our little snowman mouth. So using dots again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a fun little snowman smile. We need our carrot nose. So we'll open up our orange. We'll give it a mix. We'll kind of wipe off some of the paint on the side, just so we have enough paint on the tip of our brush to create a snowman nose. And our carrot nose is basically a triangle. So you can just, kind of just do that. And if it's a little wiggly, that's okay, because sometimes carrots grow a little wiggly. So it's just true. It's just real life. All right, now we need some buttons. Okay, so here we see little green buttons. And I think on my snowman, we will also do the same with little green buttons. And again, we'll mix up our green. And I'm going to show you a fun little technique. You can use the tip of your brush to create little dots, like what we've been doing with the brush tip. Or you can use the back of your brush. So the back of your brush is a perfect little tool to dip in your paint, just like this. Gather a little bit of paint. I'll show you. And now we just dot, dot, and dot. And it just creates these perfect little circles. I love it. It's like magic. And since we are doing a snowy scene for our snowman, I think maybe we do the same little technique to create snow. All right, so we'll dip our end of our paintbrush into our white. Grab some up here. And we'll do dot, 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 dot. Okay, I think I kind of love making dots with the end of our paintbrush. This is super fun. All right, ta-da! We have our first rock painted. That was super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that too. All right, I'll hold it up to the camera so you can see. Hello, welcome to the world, little snowman. Okay, and we'll set this one aside to dry. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you guys is how to do one of our transfers. So to prepare for that, I'm going to paint the background a color like we had done for our snowman. How about if we do, oh, I don't know. How about if we do yellow? We'll do yellow. Yellow is nice and bright. We haven't used it yet. So we'll mix it around. I'm using my larger brush, my more broad tip brush, because we're going to be painting a larger area. So just go ahead and lay that color down. Just like that. And we'll let that dry a little bit. I'm going to switch out my paper towel here. So I have a cleaner paper towel to wipe my brush off on, just like that. Okay, time for you guys to vote. Now, we have lots of different transfers to use. And the fun thing about these transfers is they work super easy. It's kind of like one of those fake tattoos that you peel away the protective sheet, you put it on your skin, and then you put water on it. Well, we're doing the same thing with our rock transfers. So it's up to you. It's time to vote. Would you like to see a snowflake, an ornament, or let's see what else, a present? So go ahead, a little box should pop up in the middle of your screen, and I'd love for you to vote if you would like to see a snowflake, an ornament, or a present. All right, you'll have a couple minutes. I'll go ahead and start cutting them out just in case you vote for one of those. Here we go. So our present, our snowflake, or our ornament. All right. And it looks like, let's see, 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. It looks like we will be painting a present. Okay, cool. So we'll save these for later. All right, so the thing is, like I had mentioned, what you want to do is cut out the transfer that you would like to use. The next thing we want to do, well, we want to make sure that the paint on our rock is all dry, so let's go ahead and blow on that. Okay, I think it should be dry. Now we're going to lift the protective sheet off of our transfer. We're going to place the transfer down onto our painted rock, face down, and kind of push it down. At this point, it should kind of stick in place. So is not coming off. Now what we want to do is get a little bit of water on our sponge. So I'm just going to dip it in here. And then we're going to push it down on our transfer and get our transfer nice and wet. And while you do this, you kind of want to go with the curves of the rock. So you're kind of pushing the transfer paper down around the rock. Oops, got a lot on that one. Just like that. Oop, okay, so the fact that my transfer started to slide a little bit, you can see it kind of slide, means that the transfer may have started to release. So I'm going to push it down and come over to this side and push it down, because I can see, you can see too, you can see it's starting to transfer over. So I'm going to very carefully remove the paper, and we've got our little transfer on our rock. Yay! And if there's any little spots that look like they may have moved, you can use your finger and very delicately put them back where they need to be. Like that. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, cool. So here is our present. Now what I love about these transfers is that you can paint on top of the transfer with our paints. Yay! Alright, so just kind of gonna make sure it's dry enough to paint on, and it is. So I haven't used the pink yet, I haven't used the orange yet, I haven't used the red yet. We have so many choices as to what we want to paint our gift to look like. So I think I will go ahead and use all three of those colors. And again, we're using our little fine tip brush. We're going to mix our paint because we haven't used it yet. We need to mix it together. And then you can just paint right in between the lines. I don't recommend painting over the lines, but I do recommend painting in between the lines. Just like that. Cool. Oop. There you are. And we've got our pink in there. How about some orange? And I don't know if you've noticed, but as I'm switching colors, I'm closing the top of the paint that I'm done painting with. And that's so the paint doesn't dry out, but also so I don't spill the paint accidentally. All right, now we'll get our orange in here. So this is a super fun present that I would love to receive. All these colors are nice and vibrant, nice and bright. So we have an orange and pink striped gift wrap, and then our bow will be red. But again, you can paint however you would like to paint. This is just how I've chosen to paint. And we would love to see what you paint. So again, if you have an older friend or an adult who has a social media account, you can take a picture of what you've created and post it up on our social media. So hashtag CreativityforKids. Now, if you are not a big fan of painting little details like this, you can always use a permanent marker for little details too. There we go. Yay, y'all. All right, I'll hold it up so you guys can see. cute. Ta-da! All right, so we have 2 fun holiday rocks painted. Let's do one more, and I would love to show you a special technique for this last one. So if you would like to vote, the special techniques I'm thinking are either polka dots, stripes, or the starburst effect. So go ahead and vote if you'd like to see how we do polka dots, how we do stripes, or if you want to see the starburst effect. All right, and while you guys vote, I'm going to prepare one of our rocks with a colored background, so we'll be all ready for painting. Which color? I think we'll do, no, green. Okay. We'll give 5 more seconds. Oh, this one is hands down. I already see everybody is voting for the starburst effect. I'm not shocked. I like that effect too. And we kind of already showed you the polka dots. So I'm glad you guys chose the starburst effect. So we're preparing our rock with a green background. And again, you can choose whatever color you would like. I'm putting a nice thin layer on, but you can do 2 coats if you have the time to make it look a little bit darker. All right, and the starburst effect I think is really handy for creating either starburst or what could look like snowflakes in the distance. So in order to do a starburst effect, we're going to put a blob of paint down, and I'm going to use the blue. So we're going to do, hold it up here for you can see. We're going to take our fine tip brush and grab some paint and put a blob of blue down. And I'm going to put more than I'd normally put. And I'm making it in a circle type of a shape. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take another color. So I'll do white. And I'm going to go around, around that blob with some white. And I'm putting it on nice and heavy. It's a thin line, but it's a lot of paint that I'm going around with it. Ooh, it's already starting. Okay. And around this one, and again, you can choose whatever colors you want. All the way around, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to use the end of my paintbrush, and I'm just going to pull that blue out into the white, and pull the blue out into the white, just like that. So we're creating something of a starburst. So you can see it looks something like a little star or a little snowflake. And we'll do the same for this one. And the more paint you put down, the larger the starburst will be. So you could actually do a big blob of paint in the middle of your rock and then add colors around it. So then your whole rock will be like a starburst. And then I'm going to just add a little dot in the center just for some interest, like that. Cool. All right, and then maybe, since we like doing this so much, we add some little snowflakes around it by using the tip of our brush. So fun. Easy to do with wonderful results. Now also, if you have glitter at home, you could add glitter to this while the paint is still wet, and you would get a really glittery stone. Ta-da! All right, we'll put this one down here. All right, and that is it. Okay, so thank you all for joining me, friends. And again, like I said, if you would like to share what you've created, go ahead and take a picture of it and ask an adult or an older friend to go ahead and post it on our social media sites. And next time, I can't wait to create with you. We're doing another holiday kit. We will be doing make your own snow globes. So I can't wait to show you how we make our own snow globes. And again, this was recorded, so you can always go back and watch it again. And thank you again for joining me. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.